Alright, welcome to a Brigitte positioning guide. I've been Masters 3, 2, 4, all those kind of ranks of Masters, a bunch on Brig. And I've also just watched shit ton of Brig VODs and just taken notes all the time. And, you know, I've lived and breathed Brigitte many times. And so I feel like I am very confident in being able to pass on some information about positioning, specifically positioning. Brig is notoriously quite difficult to position with just due to her limited range, you know, being a melee character and all, but the positions and angles you choose completely dictate how a fight may play out. So I'm going to cover in this video what a good position looks like, what a bad position looks like. I'll obviously give examples of both, and I will go into my own game and I will try think out loud to show you the positioning thought process. Alright, I just made a custom game to get a random map. Literally just a random map. There's no pre here. And let's go find some good positions. What makes a good position? Before I go and find them, let's go over the criteria of what actually makes a position good for Brigitte. It obviously needs to be close-ish, right? It needs to be fairly close distance, slightly congested, and in whip shot range. Bonus is if you are also in range of packs for your teammates. Some scenarios you might have to give up that pack range because there might just be such a limited amount of options you kind of have to give it up, or you're on such a good angle with your Tracer Genji that it's so much better to be there than being able to pack your team, or if the angle is just so freaking good you don't even care. Also, another criteria, you have to always be on cover. Of course, it's a classic. You kind of want to be hugging the corner / wall, not really peeking unless needed to. There's no need to lose shield, health, and your own health for no value. Alright, so we're on King's Row first. We're going to be defending here, but it technically doesn't really matter because the angle, where you come from, doesn't really matter. But if I go like this, where have you looked? Where have you thought that's a good spot? Hopefully you went hotel. Hotel is probably the best one here. Why is hotel really good? It's nice and congested. If people walk in, they're very easy to hit with your whip shot and your primary fire. There's also a lot of cover to hug. There's a place to shield bash to. That's another little bonus if you're to shield bash back into cover. Over here, you'll be able to pack your team across this way. You'll be able to pack your team. You'll be able to support whoever's on this angle. If you're playing a more forward position, you'll be able to whip people that walk out here and pack your team. So this is a good spot. And it's not just a King's Row specific thing. This is because of all those criteria, right? Where else might be good? Well, in theory, this right side here would be really good. Nothing wrong with it. If you could technically get up here, this is a nice spot. This is really congested. You can come out here, kind of ish. You know, hug the telephone box, hug this wall, depending on the scenario. That's not terrible. What we don't want to do, well, a bad thing would be to do, is just sort of walk out more like this and then expose yourself into a bunch of people because these people are out of your range. A Cassidy could probably do this. Even a Lucio William could do this better than Brig could. Brig could not do this. She would have to either bash across here and force this room, or should have just taken the left path to begin with, because this is too far. You can't whip anyone. It's just too far. That's simply it. And the cover is quite limited once you actually cross the statue. So yeah, not a good position. We'll have a look again. Say we're defending a second. Where would you want to be? Where would you want to be? Well, this one's a bit more creative. You've got to think a little bit more here, because the thing is, if they're pushing it this way, it's going to be quite long. So you've got to think what angle you want to contest. So they might not be on it eventually, but you want to just contest a short angle that they might want. So in this scenario, the best thing here will be here. Why would it be here? Well, you can pack your entire team from this angle. If they walk up, you have a very good whip shot. If a Tracer or anyone tries to push you from this, you're in a close range spot with cover, and you have a place to shield bash back to that has cover, and bonus, there's a mega around this corner, while still being able to be in range of your team. This is a good position for Brig, and these are the type of things you want to be looking for. It's not, hey, I'm in melee range of the entire team. It's, if someone pushes me on my angle, I'm in a good position. That's why something like this is bad. It's not just, oh, my team is over there. No. If you got pushed here by an Ashe, could you do anything? No, you couldn't do anything. But if you got pushed here by anyone here, you could do something. And that's sort of what you're looking for. Okay, I randomized the map again. We've got Blizzard World. Blizzard World is also going to be quite difficult to find some good positions on. Blizzard World is a difficult map, and I'm glad that one came up next. Hopefully it's been helpful so far. It's very hard to format a straight line positioning guide, but I'm doing my best here. Okay, first point is really complicated. Where would be good for Brig? Where would be good for Brig? You will say out loud the spot that you're thinking of. And actually, really, so long as you don't play on the floor here, you're actually quite strong in a lot of these different positions. This right room is really good if you want to attack and clear this out or defend it. The only problem is when you attack, you then expose yourself to a long-range threat here, which really sucks. So you might want to be a little more patient with that one and take a little more time. But clearing out the space is really beneficial to you. There's lots of cover, there's lots of close-range spots, lots of whips, and you could still pack your team across from here. You can also even just take the right side because this is very congested. It's a little more risk. You'd have to bash across or hopefully have a team speed you across or something like that. But otherwise, it's a pretty good spot. It's a difficult map, and so you have to think a little more creatively and a little more patiently and a little more, just make the best of with what you've got. Don't try force value out of, the fact that, hey, if you walked out of this room, you would not be able to shoot the people on the high ground, so don't even try. Another good thing to note is that you can sometimes just play these like half positions here. So like if you make this space, you can sort of contest in here instead of contesting point like that, because this is a very good spot for people to re-enter from. You got to think about that sometimes. You want to, on break, you're sometimes trying to deny the fight before it's even happened. So how would they win this fight? Well, if a tracer got through here, they might win the fight. So you're gonna put yourself here to stop that from happening. We'll take a look at second point, because second point is quite difficult. I think third is quite obvious with the criteria I've given. How would you do second? Well, now it depends on where the payload is, obviously, but what looks nice? It's tough. What would be bad? Let's go. First off, let's go with what would be bad. Bad would probably be just sticking high ground. Unless you're playing into like a full dive comp and you have like a strong like Ana Ash on height, sometimes playing just the static high ground is really bad because it's very reactive. It's very much you're going to sit here and you're going to wait for something to happen instead of stopping it happening in the first place. So this wouldn't be very strong. There are some scenarios where I'd say it works and you'll see it be done, but most of the time it's not very proactive. If you're going to position your high ground here to defend an on Ash sat here, I would much rather actually take a little bit more forward of this close thing and try to 9 engage from here, right? You're still in support from your team. The team can still see you. You can still pack maybe the low ground or bash back and pack people, but it's a little stronger than that. This wouldn't be terrible. It's not the best because, again, it doesn't have our bonus criteria, the fact that we cannot really pack our team. But say we're on the flank here with a Tracer or Genji, I would say it becomes substantially better. Depending again on how pushed up the thing is, if you're really holding this corner, even just holding around here is pretty good. Stopping people from coming into this room, you can pack your team if they're playing this corner. Stuff like that is really, really good to look for. What I wouldn't want is you just stand like here. Like just there's nothing for you to do here. You're not denying a single angle. You can't hit whips. You can't even hit packs. It's just not that strong. You want to try find a place where you can actually deny some space. And on Blizzard World, it's quite limited. So you're going to want to think about what your team is and the enemy team are going. So you could even almost put yourself here to stop them walking out here for free, and you could still pack your team and you'd be safe. You'd create a bit of a split, so you'd have to be obviously careful for being pushed. But yeah, I will do one more map and I want to do a different game mode. I'm going to do Suravasa, right? Suravasa changes things up a little bit. Flashpoint is not bad for Brig. It's just better for Lucio, but it's not bad for Brig. Okay, this point. We'll take this point. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? This should be so obvious. This should just come into your brain like that. Here. Why? Well, it's congested. Good. This is quite long though. No, it's a long sideline. Sure, but you can hold this corner. If they push up, you can whip them. And if your team deepens a little more, it's very easy to play this rest of the corner. Whip from there, hit there. But also, another thing I want to factor in, why would we take this over anything else? It's the better option. You're going to have to get used to, especially on Brigitte, sacrifice it just a lot. Some maps, some points, some situations do not have a perfect all-encompassing angle. Hotel on Kings Row First was an all-encompassing great spot. Suravasa here really doesn't have the perfect spot. You could arguably stack with your team here and fight here very, very well. But if your team decided to push through the main part here, then that is useless almost. This is too far because the problem is as soon as you try to push in, this is very, very exposed. So you do with what you have and you go here. And that's another thing I want to touch on. Position is very, very relative. If you have a team trying to stack and take left, right, they're trying to take left side, do not, just because the angle is more comfortable on the right, go right. There are some scenarios where that's just not gonna happen. The only thing I can see is if you had a split. Okay, if you had a split, then it's fine. If you have like multiple people on the right, multiple people on the left, then sure, pick the better one. But if your entire team is left, solo in the right is probably just not going to be worth it, right? So that's something I do want to touch on. You want to kind of look at where your team is going anyway, and then find an angle that is best for you, And it sounds complicated, but it won't be too much, because I'll go into a game and I'll show you how I think about it, because you kind of get this natural feeling. If your team's pushing this way, you won't want to do this. Okay, complicated point here. At this point, this one requires a little bit of thinking. This requires a little bit of thinking. A little bit of thinking. Again, depends where your team is fighting or where the fight's happening, but yada yada. What's comfortable? Well, this corner's pretty comfortable. I don't hate this. You know, there's good cover here. It's a little exposed there, but you can hit the whip. You can mark whatever comes on the right. This is very, very comfortable. But when the fight evolves, you don't really want to deepen this. That's quite exposed, right? That's not a good thing to do. That's quite exposed. So, what, do you want to come here? That's also quite exposed. And yeah, that's also quite exposed. You can do sometimes is try to find, again, similar to that Blizzard World one, where as the fight evolves, you might come over onto this side, hug this wall, you might poke out here, and essentially use this wall as a way to block off this sightline. So then your angle becomes like that, which becomes a little closer, and then you can fall back here to cut off that one. So sometimes you just want to use map geometry to make the angle work for you. If sometimes it just isn't that obvious, you can use this natural cover, use these walls, move between them to try and create the right angle for you. This is long distance, but and this is long distance, but if we hug this wall nicely, they have to push us, and then we win this. Like, we can just whip people down who try to push up here. It's like Tracers, Genjis, and stuff like to come up here, or to come up here, and if you're here, you can definitely whip it, and you can also bash back over to the rest of your team and still pack them. Hopefully that all makes sense. I just try to show good angles, bad angles, and explain my reason for all of it, so I really do hope it was helpful. Let's do some live games. Okay, I will be honest. This is my first game on today. I'm going to get the excuses out the way. Let's get the excuses over and done with. First game on. Yeah, first game on today, and I haven't played Brig in a little while. Okay, I'm playing a lot of Lucio. But the idea is I have played a lot of Brig in the past, right? And I've hit pretty decent ranks playing Brig. Okay? So we'll roll with that. And my fundamentals should be there. Map, I'm not really fast. Now, whether I get rolled, I roll, we just lose, it's close, I don't really care. Okay, all late. Positioning. Where's a good position for me? Well, this is congested. This is very congested. We like this. We're in rip shot range, and we can pack people. We want to play our cover well, because we can't fight that Emery. So we're going to wait for my team to take a little bit of space, and then we're going to push up a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to cut this corner. Just because we're playing way too much to the left there, I'm getting a little less value on the right. So I'm playing this corner, I'm hugging this corner. There's no need to walk more forward than this until my team goes in. See how I'm always moving to different corners. I gave up that position, but I'm playing this corner and I'm using this wall to block off my LOS on the left. We hit that whip shot, of course, that's just broken. Again. Now the reason I gave up this room here is because there was no one with me, and Emery was uncontestable, and my team was pushing in from the left. That's the Cervasa example where you have to give up. You have to give it up if it just isn't going to work. So now I'm going to contest this left room here because it's nice and congested. It's a very good room for them, and I can pack my entire team. I might have to back up a little more as my team give up space because you've got to. Everything's relative, like I said. Oh, I missed that. So again, we take the space as soon as we can. We might get pushed on by D.Va, and we've got to be conscious of that. I don't know how I missed that. We always move to different corners. Yeah, I'm just dead there. That was probably poor. That was all poor positioning. I didn't need to be so in with Sigma. I could have just probably hugged around the pillars. But hey, it's what it is. It's what it is. It happens to the best of us. On this right. Oh, I missed my whip. I'm going to miss a lot of whips because I'm not really thinking. I'm thinking about positioning more than anything. We like contesting this right, but we need to do a recut, so you've got to be careful. Nice. I kind of misplayed that, massively. That misses. But again, we're clearing out the right side. I might just ult. Right. But again, you can see there, I instantly pushed that right space, played the corner, That's just where you want to be. And it's once you learn the maps, low-key, it becomes just do the same thing every time. And then just respond to pressure. Like, we can just sit on this corner and mark this left side. If someone was on this... That's not my problem. Reaper's not my problem. Yeah, right would have been a good space to mark, but he's not my problem. I don't want to die to that. What? Okay, that sucks. Alright, we're gonna back up, but they're probably a little bit of a lost fight. Good pick, good pick. Probably winnable now. Play the corner, play the corner. One more bash. Get him away. How does she have TP back? What kind of cooldown is TP on? Whatever.
First round, 1.
You see, that play, that's not positioning. That's just being the GOAT.
Score 1-0.
Okay. I hope the first map was helpful. As we went at this point, maybe easier even. Might be easier. There's more verticality. Verticality is definitely going to be an issue. Like, it's definitely going to make it harder. But again, don't think about it. Just go for what you can. You don't have to worry about what you can't control. Like, it's not your problem. The high ground's not your problem because you can't do it. So again, it's going to kind of matter where our team roll out to, but right and left are both very good for me. I'm leaning right a little bit, but this right room here is very good to contest, and there's less vertical pressure. We miss our whip shot because we suck. Heal our cast up. I'm literally trolling, but the position's good. The position's good regardless. You see how we can help multiple people from the same position. If I hit my whip shots, that would have been the case. Yeah, I mean, I played this fight horribly. That's my fault. That's my bad. I missed like 3 whip shots in a row, and then just like... Yeah. But again, you can tell that the positioning is strong there. Because I'm able to help the Cass, and I'm able to help the Sigma, and the rest of my team. So we want to think about our positioning. We're going to run out a little bit with our Cassidy, just because he's a little easier to play with than the Ashe. But see how we're going left side. This isn't because I prefer this. It's a good angle, and there's people here. And in fact, we can deepen. And then respond to pressure. Always respond to pressure accordingly. So bashing the corners, bashing the corners, bashing the corners.
I love doing that.
That is not the perk I meant to get. Nice. I should play that. If there's no one on your angle, you can deepen it. This is a good position for me as well. So, like, I might as well take it. And just, I mean, Rick Tip always just save that bash to get out. Don't bash it. Especially when you're playing that type of thing. So here we can kind of look to contest around here. Our tank's not up yet, so I would be a lot more cautious. They also don't have a Genji, so I'm not that's scared of, like, that thing. But you can kind of play this room a little bit. If I was better quick on that bubble, that would have been better. That's so annoying. We can just live. We can just live. We can just live. That's a really good nano, actually. That's embarrassing. Like, really embarrassing. No, just take your cover again. Worth. I don't care. Why did I bash in there, if you're wondering? It was just an instinct. I just thought, like, that fight, I think we guarantee get these guys. I want the proc of Inspire, I want the bash damage, the whip damage. We've got a high charge Zarya in a room, the honor's low. Like, I think that's just we're much stronger there. I might as well. I don't mind dying for that. You see how I rolled out right here because my team is playing right? Again, the angle is great for me, but playing left would just be a little more risky because my team isn't playing near it. Funny enough, though, it would have been better for... roll it to a corner. Get back on your position. And we're kind of keeping this guy up, but obviously we're not God. Fuck off. Actually piss off. Alright. Cheeky little reset. That was not the Zarya's goal. She did not make me fall off the edge. Come on to Nano, that's pretty good. In fact, here, again, my team's like swinging right a little bit, so I might want to contest right. And I don't want to play high ground. Think about it. That's not my strength. Think about what I said at the start. It's not my strength. See how we're able to kind of contest here? That's a bubble. I might die here, but I think the kill is better. Nice. I'm actually getting a lot of this whip shot perk. I'm actually getting a lot of bonus damage from it. I don't normally play with it. Yeah, nicely done. A little bit of an easy game, but still, it was at least they contested enough for my positioning to matter, and we lost fights on bad positioning. So.